Hola amigos! Today I'm gonna be ranking my 4 dupes of Pacific Chill. Now real quick before I start, if you know me, you should know that my favorite Louis Vuitton fragrance or Louis Vuitton fragrance of choice is Louis Vuitton's Pacific Chill. And I have around 4 dupes of Louis Vuitton Pacific Chill, but I want to rank them here and rate them in this video, so let's get straight to it. Okay, now coming in 4th place is kind of sad to say, but Afnan's Rare Reef. I do adore this fragrance, of course, but it takes the DNA of Louis Vuitton Pacific Chill and kind of just take it and make it like an orange limeade to the point where it just makes it a little bit too juicy for me, but it's still a great fragrance that I do wear. It's just not really on the level of Pacific Chill and the other dupes that are out there. And also, the performance and projection could definitely be better, though the price for it is definitely great, and the quality of the bottle, especially this cap, is also amazing. I love the simple design and look of it. Drop what you think of the bottle down below in the comments, but let's get into what comes in number 3. Alright, the next one I have is Rayhan's Pacific Aura. Beautiful, beautiful bottle design. I love the gradient, the blue, the gold highlights, and it has a magnetic cap. It also has a semi-pressurized, pretty wide, decent atomizer, and the smell of it is also amazing, but definitely not a one-to-one dupe. It is more of just adding sweetness, making this even more childish than the other ones. And don't get me wrong, this is still a great fragrance, but I find myself reaching for these next 2 dupes more than I find myself reaching for this one, which is why it's catching a little bit of dust, but I do have a small little dent in there. And the projection and performance, the projection is good, sillage is good, performance could be a little bit better, but definitely still good to last you throughout the day. But let's get into 2nd place. Now in 2nd place, I have Maison Asrar's Vision. Yep, this is a absolute beautiful, beautiful bottle. I love the look of this, in my opinion. Has a hole through the cap. Take it off. The atomizer's on the side, which is interesting. And if you look at the bottle, it's kind of like a picture frame type look, but see-through through the middle. And the atomizer on this is pretty definitely wide. I love the smell of it, but it takes a little bit of a twist on Pacific Chill, making about 85% Pacific Chill, batting in like 15 to 20% of Louis Vuitton's Afternoon Swim, because it adds in a little bit of more juicy orange. But even though it does add a more juicy orange, it's weird because I find this one the most mature yet, because the other 2 that I previously showed add an even more sweetness than this one does. But this one might even reduce sweetness to the point where it's a more mature fragrance rather than just basically any age fragrance. But did I tell you that this thing lasts 10 plus hours on skin, and in the summer probably around 8 to 9, which is still absolutely amazing. Has great projection, pulls a lot of compliments, and this is definitely one of my top, but somehow doesn't take the case for number 1. Now number 1 for me is the one and only Game of Spades Bonus. Yup, oh my goodness, look at that bottle. Great quality. I love the gradient. I might like the Pacific Aura gradient better, but this one's still beautiful. Nice heavy cap. Oh my gosh, what a pressurized atomizer. That is a host. Now the smell of it, I find it the closest to Pacific Chill in my opinion. It also has great projection, great longevity, and the overall smell is just absolutely amazing, giving off a great scent trail. You have the orange, you have the aquaticness, you have the slight airiness, you have everything that comes together and makes Louis Vuitton Pacific Chill just made almost as good, put into a different bottle, and only being sold for $80. Which, yes, this is the most expensive out of the 4, but I'm telling you this is worth it because it's still a fraction of the price of Pacific Chill, still has a beautiful bottle, maybe even better, has a great cap, has a absolutely beautiful atomizer, probably better than Pacific Chill's in my opinion, because this one's insanely pressurized. The other one is just kind of semi-pressurized in my opinion, but the look of it, the smell of it, the projection, sillage, and longevity all comes together, making this my #1 dupe of Pacific Chill. But I will say, if you can get the original Pacific Chill, definitely do so. But if you can't, I would say this one. If you want something a little bit juicier, go ahead and get one of the first two I showed. But if you just want something that's not too powerful but definitely lasts and still gets compliments, definitely go get Vision by Mason Asrar. But in my opinion, this is my pick.